so much for being here. Okay, it's very nice to me to be here talk about the transactions in the Lightning Network. So today we will see how to transfer transactions from traditional economic system to the Lightning Network. And so how to send transactions, to receive transactions on the Lightning Network, to get payments if you have a shop or a commerce, etc. How to start using the Lightning Network for day-to-day transactions. So how many people here are already using Lightning Network for day-to-day spending, for example? Okay, well, not bad. Okay, so before starting, who am I? My name is Massimo Musumeci. I am a physicist since 1997. I am a developer at Denali Swiss, which is a Bitcoin-only Swiss exchange. I am also involved in the development of a Bitcoin voucher bot, which is a Telegram facility for exchanging Bitcoin. And I work also on sats.mobi, which is an open source project forked from Lightning Tip Bot, which provides some useful features in terms of Lightning transaction management. I am also a content creator in the area of Bitcoin, Lightning Network, Nostr, and free speech. So I am active for increasing the adoption of Bitcoin, the Lightning Network, as economic tool, as a mean of payment for overcoming the banking system, the traditional system. So most of my work is in this area. This is why now I am talking about the Lightning Network, for this reason. So we will see what is needed by final users and corporate entities in terms of payment management. We have different requirements. If you are a final user, you have some need. If you are a corporate entity willing to receive payments on the Lightning Network, you have some different kind of needs. So we will see custodial system and non-custodial system for sending and receiving payments. We will see the importance of the UX for newbies, for example, coming into the Lightning Network. We will see this sats.mobi example as a simple UX-friendly system in the custodial ecospace. We will see how to use and the main advantages for using a BTC-based server and LNBits as open source platforms for sending and receiving payments for payment management. And finally, we can see some self-custodial solutions based on the cloud, like PhoenixD, Breeze SDK, Greenlight, etc. And we will see the use of Lightstack, which is a new project we are working on to make very easy to start an on-demand node in the Lightning Network. All right. So let's talk about the needs that we have as final users and corporate entities. We start from the assumption that Bitcoin is opt-in. So no one can forbid entering the system, and no one can force someone entering the system. This is very important. In fact, anyone can enter the system just creating a key pair. So it's very different from the banks, the traditional financial system, where people can be excluded. So there are a lot of people that cannot enter the system because banks are not opening the accounts or banks are not granting credit cards and so on. So we appreciate Bitcoin because the removal of the middleman makes possible for anyone to transact without the risk of censorship and seizure that we have with traditional financial system. So what we really need in Bitcoin to be free to start using in a day-to-day spending. If you are a final user, you maybe want to use Bitcoin to pay easily, for example, in bar, in restaurant, in physical shops, and online. So you want to use your wallet in your mobile, and mainly with UX that doesn't require so much skills. So many people want to start using the Lightning Network without having to worry about what is behind the technical side. So you probably want pocket money to carry with you, and you want also an easy way to exchange value between your counterparties. You can receive payments, for example, if you want to be paid for a service or a good, etc. And normally you prefer having something that doesn't require additional apps or a complex setup. Obviously, when your skills become more and more advanced, you probably will be able to run your own node and do something more self-custodial. If you are a corporate entity, you may want to receive payments easily, quickly, without having the lack of privacy you have in traditional economy. You want to avoid the risk of chargeback that you have in traditional finance. And you want something that is free, something that is available for anyone. So if you're running a shop, you can start accepting Bitcoin without having to deal with bureaucratic things or give documents or something like this that we have in traditional finance. And of course, like here we do in Lugano, there are a lot of shops accepting the Lightning Network Bitcoin. It's because it's also a marketing fast track, because many people are attracted by the possibility to shop using the Lightning Network. So Bitcoin is a new economy where we can hodl, so we can use a Bitcoin to safeguard purchasing power, but also we can shift the financial flows from banks to the economic system in Bitcoin by using the Lightning Network. And this is what we do when we are interested to the Lightning Network and we use in a day-to-day spending. So some words about the Lightning Network and the evolution of the Lightning Network in the last years. So, as you probably know, the Lightning Network is a layer 2, which is built on top of a Bitcoin-based layer. It allows off-chain instant transactions without having to deal with minor fees. And it is really the method we can use for transacting as a payment method. So Bitcoin, the Lightning Network makes possible to make easy and fast transaction with very small fees. So the other important thing is that we can develop many applications on top. So many platforms provide API, and so we can also connect existing software, for example, existing platform to the Lightning Network just by connecting to external funding source, like, for example, PhoenixD or Greenlight or etc. This is very nice and is used today by many new platforms. So it's based on opening the channels, and when the channel is open, 1,000 transactions can flow in an off-chain fashion. All the transactions doesn't require the transaction to be mined inside the block. So off-chain is the key. And we have a different fee mechanism compared to the on-chain transaction. Here, the balancing of the channel is a new concept introduced. So for the UX, the user experience, as I said, it's important in terms of onboarding new users, because many people want to use the Lightning Network without having to particular skills or experience. And so in this way, we need something that is easy to work with, and probably something at the beginning, something that is custodial. As soon as you get more and more skills, you can then use something more self-custodial, or even run your own node. So a useful platform will be integrated in other software. Will require no additional apps or minimal software required, and should integrate the POS, a POS management system, something that is useful to get payments in a shop, for example, in a face-to-face shop. And something that is also able to be connected to NFC tools like NFC cards or rings, and maybe integrated into a messaging system, because we will see how the Lightning Network can be imagined as a messaging facility, as something to exchange value through a message. Here we can see the growth of the volume on the Lightning Network since 2021 to 2023 in this report by River Financial. Here we can see the huge growth of the volume of transactions in the network. This is very nice. And here we can see the number of nodes, the evolution of number of nodes since 2019 to 2022. We can see a rise in nodes, but we can see also a plateau from 2022 to 2023. This is probably because of the bear market we had and the optimization of nodes. In fact, as you can see in this slide also, there have been growth of channels and then a decrease in number of channels from 2022. This is probably because the most important node runners started to close little channels and started to open new big channels, more interconnected. And so we are in a situation where we have less channels with better interconnectivity and liquidity. So this is not bad for the network, but is a good situation. So a Lightning payment can be seen as a message which is intended for exchanging value. So it's something that we can integrate into a messaging platform. So why not integrate into an existing messaging tool? This is the goal of this project. I introduced it some moments ago. This is sats.mobi, the first custodial application we are discussing about. This is a software integrated into Telegram, written in Go, open source. And this is something that can be used to enter the system very quickly, because there is no software to install. Just run your own Telegram user, if you have. So no app is required, no website is required, and you get immediately a POS built-in facility. You have a Lightning wallet with a Lightning address. So this is useful to also deal with the social networks, for example, even on Nostr. So you can zap on Noster and receive zaps on Noster. And you can benefit of also the possibility to connect to existing platforms like Zeus, Blue Wallet, Albi, even BTC Pay Server through the LND Hub interface. So the structure is centered on Telegram. So there is an auto setup. So just invoking the bot will configure all the underlying situations. So the Lightning address, the scrub feature, the POS applet, and the LND Hub interface. So the POS is the way anyone can start receiving payments. So this should be easy for anyone to use. So the idea here is to provide a tool that requires no skill to enter, and that can be used with a device, an external device like a POS, or something that you already seen here in the outside, or with a built-in facility. So this can be used for receiving payments. So just clicking on the button shows this POS as a Telegram applet, and this is easy to tap your required amount, and the system will convert in sats, so from fiat to sats, and this can be paid by scanning the QR code or by using the NFC contactless card, for example. And it is also possible to have the URL. This URL can be invoked externally to connect an external device or many additional external devices. The scrub function is something similar to the Prism function inside BTC Pay Server. This is to make the system minimal custodial, because any incoming payment is redirected to an external Lightning address. This can be activated and deactivated real time by issuing the command followed by the destination Lightning address, and this can be also deactivated automatically. When this is activated, all incoming payments are redirected externally. And the Bolt cards are easy to be connected to the system in order to be able to pay by NFC cards where the device accepts this kind of payment. This is based on Bolt card standard and tag 424. And this is also applicable to rings. This can be connected to your account, and so just invoking the activate card command can activate the card connected to the account. So you can spend the balance in your account by using this card. For example, even here in Lugano, you can use any POS which supports NFC to receive payments. And finally, there is an integrated fiat to SAT swap. This is based on a collaboration with Swiss exchanges, and this is useful to top up your card by SATs by sending a fiat payment. So how does it work? It's quite easy, nothing to do particularly. Just invoke the buy command followed by your sending IBAN code, and then just copy and paste the details for the payment. And finally, there is an order confirmation to be issued. And how does it work? When the payment arrives, the order processor is converting the amount in sats and directly pushed to the balance of your account. And so this makes possible to have this balance available also for the NFC cards. So NFC cards can be spent in Lightning Sats, but you can top up your card by using this facility to change from fiat to Sats. Okay, so this now I covered all the aspects of custodial situations. Custodial situation has a better user experience, is easier for anyone to come in. For this reason, anyone, any newbie can use a custodial solution because it's easier to get in the system. But there are many important other solutions which are self-custodial. The most important in this field are BTC Pay Server and LNBits. So they are open source software, highly maintained and very battle tested. So the BTC Pay Server is, I think, the most powerful tool for processing the payment. It works with on-chain transactions and Lightning. It can be connected externally, even to an external funding source, for example, by LND Hub interface or REST proxy. Here you can see how you can specify the connected node. So, for example, you can connect even to your node if you are running a node at home, or if you are running a cloud node, or if you want to connect your SATS Mobi account, you can use the LND Hub interface. And you can also use REST proxy, etc. So you can connect to multiple external sources, and each account can connect to a different source. We have the Prism feature as a plugin. This is very nice, similar to the Scrub function. This redirects all the incoming payments to external Lightning address and also can split to several destinations automatically. This is useful if you are getting payments and you are multiple partners and you want to split the payments among the partners. And you can also configure the settings for working online. So the advantage of the BTC Pay server tool is that you can also work online. So if you have a shop online and e-commerce, you can use the system as well for this purpose. So in the same interface, in the same facility, you have face-to-face trading, you have online shopping, and you can manage both the on-chain transactions and the Lightning transaction as well. So LNBits, if you run Node, it's strongly important because it's a super powerful accounting system that you can have on your node. It doesn't matter if it's a node that you run on your own hardware or it's a cloud, something cloud, for example, Voltage or Phoenix Z or something like this. But it's strongly important because you can run multiple extensions, because there is a powerful extension system where you can decide what tools to use in your install. So you can use, for example, LN URL. You can use the POS, and there are several useful extensions. Or you can create your own extensions if you have some development skill. So this is the most important feature. Then you have an API interface available, so you can connect external tools using this interface by the provided tokens. So you can get the token from the interface, and then you can connect your external tool. And there is the POS plugin that is available as well and can be connected to each account you define on it. So this is also useful for Uncle Jim system, where you have a node and you split the funds to your parents or friends, etc. We can have also, this is the last point of this, you can have also self-custodial node solutions. In this case, you have the possibility to run your own node. You have the need to have more skills, but you can run your node at home, for example, in your own hardware, using your home network, under Tor or not. But in this case, you have to worry about network connectivity. You have to worry about opening channels, balancing the channels, and so on. Otherwise, there are new interesting solutions like PhoenixD. PhoenixD, it is a cloud-based self-custodial node. You can run on a VPS or on a computer at home. In this case, you can manage the node by using the CLI or the API. This is created by a sink, so it is integrated liquidity management, so you don't have to worry about opening channels and balancing the channels, because it's a sink that opens a channel to your node, but you have a self-custodial node where you own the keys, so you are sovereign for your funds. And this, in my opinion, is the best one. Then we have Greenlight. This is the same by Blockstream with API, with no liquidity management. And Breeze SDK, software development kit by Breeze that uses Greenlight and add some additional features on top. And then we have LDK, that is the most battle-tested tool. For the importance of having a node is great for anyone who wants to be self-sovereign. So setting up a node quickly and easily is very, very important. And this is why we started to create this stack. This is Light Stack. It is a new open source project where the goal is to create a script that makes possible to run your node in seconds. So the idea is to define your own domain name and then run this script to have a node, full node, with all the stack on it. So in this way, you can have your Allen-Bits instance running up and running in a few minutes by just issuing this this command. Now we will see a little bit. So it's based on Docker. So it's just cloning the repository from the GitHub and then run the script to have the containers running. The system is immediately connected to the funding source. So Allen-Bits is taken up and connected to the funding source automatically. So you don't have pain to configure Allen-Bits to connect to your running PhoenixD instance. And you can manage the liquidity on the node even by external tool like PhoenixD UI. And in a few minutes, you have your Allen-Bits running where you can install all the required extensions. So it's really easy to set up. Now I will show you 1 minute video that shows how to run this script. This script is open source, so anyone who has development skills can contribute to the project to make it so much easier even for anyone. And this is nice to anyone to enter the Bitcoin Lightning Network. So here we get the repository. We clone the repository. We run the init script. Here the certificates are created automatically by getting from Let's Encrypt. You can define the PostgreSQL as a database, and then here certificates are taken from Let's Encrypt. Here the images are pulled or created, pulled from the Docker Hub or created locally. It's very fast. And then the containers are built on the node. Everything is automatically. And here we have the start of the system. So few seconds. Here we can check the logs. And here we go. We have LN bits running. Here you can go into the interface and immediately you can start your invoice. So really no pain in this. It's very simple. You can find this open source on GitHub, and contributions are appreciated if you want to make a pull request or something helpful for developing is very nice. So that's it for today. Here are my contacts. I have a YouTube channel mainly in Italian, and I am also on Twitter and Nostr. Here the informations. And I also have this text newsletter where you can find how-to snippets and code. If you have some more skill, it's interesting. I produce some content weekly or each 2 weeks, and you can easily connect. If you have some questions, I am here to answer. Yeah.
Thank you. Very interesting. Very low-key question. I'm traveling to San Salvador in 2 weeks, for 2 weeks, and would like to just live on Lightning. What would be your recommendation for lowest fees? Because I did experience that something like Aqua Wallet, I spent like 3 or 4% of fees.
Yeah. Yes, when you use some custodial solution, you have obviously fees added to the standard Lightning Network fees, and this is because they manage everything behind. So they manage the node, they manage the opening channels, etc. So it's normal that you have some additional fees. With Aqua, for example, there are also fees connected to Liquid Network. And so, yes, when you use something that is custodial, you will face some fees. Probably using something like very easy is Wallet of Satoshi, for example. Very easy. There are fees associated. You can use Satsmobi. Satsmobi, we don't charge any fee for transactions apart than standard Lightning fees. Or you can also use Phoenix. Phoenix has a wallet on your mobile. In that case, it's self-custodial, so you have to manage you have to backup your keys. In this case, you have some fees connected to opening the channel and managing the transactions. So I suggest you, in case, to use maybe Phoenix D, but start with a big channel. So the idea to minimize the fees connected to opening the channel, the best idea is to send big payment the first. So you can send on chain. You can send on chain, for example, 2 million sats, for example, or even 5 million sats. This opens a channel, a big channel. You have the cost for the opening the channel, but then you can always use the same channel if you transact a few amount of sats. And this is quite cheap. There are still fees from async, but I think it's quite good, and you have the control of the keys. And just pay attention to send the first transaction big in order to avoid the opening channels or splicing channels to raise the liquidity on the channel. So I suggest 2 millions, 2 millions or even 5 millions. It depends on your needs. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about Phoenix Wallet. Yeah, you said that it's not custodial. I just curious how you achieve non-custody for the Lightning. So you are using like Breeze SDK for that, or like LDK, or what is your solution to that problem?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Sorry.
You spoke about Phoenix D?
Phoenix D, it's about, you expect that like users would spin up their own node and connect to the wallet, or it's happen automatically or something like that?
Yes, Phoenix D is a wallet. Phoenix is a wallet implementation you can have on your mobile, and includes a small node on your mobile, etc. And this is Phoenix. But you can also use Phoenix D. Phoenix D is a daemon you can run on your VPS, for example. And this is a node, a Lightning node, a self-custodial node where you own the keys. And then you can develop on it. So you can connect external application to this. For example, as you see, have you seen with LNbits, you can connect LNbits, and then you can run, for example, LN URL. You can run as many applications as you want. So in the case of Phoenix, you just have a wallet on your mobile that you can use for sending and receiving payments in a self-custodial mode. With Phoenix D, it's something more, because you have a real node running on your equipment. That can be a physical hardware, or can be a VPS, for example. In this case, it's you that decide what you want to run upon this funding source. So this is the advantage. So, for example, running the light stack is a stack from Phoenix D to LNbits. So you have the possibility to run quite everything you want using LNbits that connects to the Phoenix D funding source. Phoenix D becomes a funding source for your applications. So if you want to develop something, or if you want to connect an existing platform to the Lightning Network, you can use Phoenix D, which is a good solution. Otherwise, there is Breeze SDK or Greenlight, etc. Breeze SDK is it's a full SDK that uses Greenlight as a node, and they developed a lot of things on top. So it depends on what is better for you. It was.
Is there any fee involved in the Lightning transaction? I believe there's a small fee.
Yes, yes. When you send a transaction, when you send a transaction on the Lightning Network, normally you have a transactions fee on Lightning. It depends on how many hops your transaction do upon the network. So each node where your transaction flows takes a fee for this. So it's a small fee. It depends on how the node is configured. So, for example, if your node is directly connected to your counterparty, there is just no hop, because it's from your node to the counterparty. Otherwise, in the most of cases, the transaction must follow a path to arrive to the destination. In this case, each hop requires a fee. This is the reason why many people, many node runners are running big nodes to take advantage of routing fees. So they they charge a routing fees to the transaction passing on this node, and this is for business. So big nodes like
The receiver that is going to receive less.
normally. Other questions?
You're finishing about the nodes, the transactions, and the fees that companies make. Will you finish? You're almost finished when yes?
Yes. When you run your routing node, you there is people running a node because of self-sovereignty, and so for self-transaction. So I can run my node at home because I want to be self-sovereign. I want to connect my wallet. For example, I can run Phoenix D. I want to connect my wallet with Zeus, for example, and and do this for myself. This is one possibility. The other possibility is to be a company or someone who want to run a node for getting the fees, to receive fees. In this case, normally it's a routing node, so a node used and configured for receiving fees from transactions. In this case, you have to open big channels, so you need more liquidity for doing this. In this case, you can run a business like this, but normally the amount of liquidity that you need is so higher than the fees you receive. So at the moment, at the actual situation of the network, you have to lock a lot of liquidity in channels compared to the routing fees. So for doing some kind of routing, you should lock about 10, 20 Bitcoin. It's not so easy. But yes, there are node runners that run very big nodes, and the idea is taking advantage of the routing fees. There is also another kind of business which is emerging, that is the LSP business, where LSP is normally a big node with great liquidity. And in this case, you can open channels to counterparties. For example, Async is an LSP working for his own wallet. In this case, you are paid for opening the channels with liquidity towards your counterparties. This is a new business because yes, we have for example Phoenix D. You have Breeze SDK. They need inbound liquidity, and so the LSP is providing inbound liquidity by charging a fee. So this is probably better as a business model than just routing, and obviously you need a lot of liquidity to make this kind of business. So opening the channels.
Excuse me, Massimo,
Yeah.
could be a silly question, but I will.
Yeah.
So where it's property, so it's custodial or not?
Yeah, it's custodial. We are working to change it slowly in something non-custodial, something like Albi is doing, but it is work in progress. At the moment, it is custodial. We added this scrub feature, which is something that makes it less custodial because every time a transaction arrives, it is redirected outside, so the trust is limited. This is a good way to have this solution, but the custody at the moment is custodial. It's very easy when it's very easy for the user. When the user has a great user experience, is because everything complicated is behind.
But so if I put some sats inside and I lose the phone, how can I get it back?
No, it's not connected to the phone because it's connected to the user ID of your Telegram user ID. So just restore Telegram in some other phone, and you are connected as well. So it's based on it's a full Lightning wallet plus tools, and everything is indexed on the ID of the user on Telegram. But you can also connect externally from, for example, Blue Wallet, and you can manage your transactions with Blue Wallet. You can even forget Telegram. Telegram is the way it starts and the way it gets configured, and you have services that you can use in Telegram. So if you are a newbie, you can start in this way because nothing is needed. No setup is needed. You just open Telegram, run the wallet the first time, and you are ready to go. But then you can connect externally thanks to LND app interface. So you can connect to many additional tools. But yes, custodial at the moment, it's something like wallet of Satoshi with some additional feature, or something like Albi in the custodial version. Now Albi has created a Albi Hub, which is a sort of node in the cloud where you can connect to using a different interface and WC interface. But in my opinion, is still too difficult for a newbie because you have to start this instance. You have to understand what does it mean to open a channel, to the liquidity in a channel. So it's not so easy. So at the moment, really, the most easy situation is when you use something custodial. But in day-to-day spending, this can be quite easy because normally you have maximum 1 million sats to spend. So it's not so important like in on-chain situation where you own a lot of funds, and in this way you need to be custodial of the keys. So it's a good way for people willing to enter the system that maybe already using Telegram for messaging. You can add to the messaging feature even the Lightning tips, so you can send tips, you can send to Lightning address, you can even get Lightning address to receive payments. For example, you can set your Lightning address on your on a paper or on a website statically, and you can receive funds on this address, and you get on your account. So this is quite easy, even for receiving payments in POS.
There is no problem with the size of the channel.
The channels are you cannot see the channels. You don't see the channels. You don't see the balancement of the channels. Everything is behind in a level where you don't see this level. So the goal is to make the user not worrying about what is behind. Yeah. So you just have to concentrate in managing your funds without having to worry about what is going on internally. So this is the nice feature of everything which is custodial. But there is always a trade-off when managing something custodial that you don't own the keys. So theoretically, if the provider gets down for some reason, the funds may be lost. So this is the trade-off of any custodial solution. But you have the possibility to enter the system and to start working immediately. So even a bar, for example, can connect in a few minutes and start getting the payments for coffee, pizza, and so on. And this is the goal is to make easy for anyone to enter Lightning Network and start getting and receiving payments. This is the
But like as a merchant, like is it intended to use for small payments? How about if like is a shop that sells expensive items? Does it work properly?
this is just for Lightning. So normally you have the limits of the Lightning network. So you can easily receive, for example, about 1 million sats. If it's expensive, it's better to go on chain, probably because you sell something which is expensive. So you want to get an on-chain payment, wait for first confirmation, and so on. So in this case, is probably better to set up for example, a BTC Pay server solution. In this case, you can manage both Lightning and on-chain. And so you can receive easily payments for big amounts, because the system checks if the payments arrives and makes the invoice paid when the payment arrives. For such Mobi, you have to consider about maximum 1 million sats. So it's okay for pizza, books, something like this.
So there's a limit of 1 million sats.
1 million sats, it's a limit we put even for people security. So we said maximum 1 million sats. You can transact within this limit, and this is the limit. That's okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.